it was really bad how it looks. And he said, you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. There's protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye.
The MMA community is beginning to show frustration with the UFC, and leading that wave is Tom Aspinall. After the events surrounding his eye injury at UFC 321, Aspinall has reportedly reached a breaking point. Sources suggest he's deeply unhappy with how the organization has dealt with his situation. From the controversial ending of the fight to the silence afterward and the criticism that's followed online. It's becoming more and more obvious that tension between Tom Aspinall and the UFC is starting to build.
And laid there on his back until John submitted him. Against the cage, Gane was sat there, not moving, not bucking, not shifting or fighting hands, sitting there like this until John locked up the guillotine on him. I'm very aware of what happened in that fight. And do I wish Tom would have finished him earlier? I do, without resistance. That was the ideal circumstance for Tom Aspinall, was to finish Ciryl Gane with no resistance in the first round. I think we see an overconfident Gane in the rematch, and I think Tom smokes him. But Tom was raging. So there's an emotional aspect to this rematch now that I'm worried about, because I've been looking for Bully Tom to make an appearance for a very long time, you guys. For a very long time, I've been waiting for Bully Tom to make an appearance. And, he made the appearance on, what the fuck you guys booing me for? He genuinely made an appearance in the post-fight speech. The fuck you guys booing me for? I got fucking double eye poked. A double eye poke landed. Insane. Crazy. Horrible result for the main event. Worst case scenario. All things come together. It's weird how MMA works, is it not? Dirtiest fighter on the heavyweight roster, Ciryl Gane, constantly cheats every single fight. He's a dirty little French cunt. John Jones is the nemesis of Tom Aspinall.
Que é importante. Acontece.
Guys, I just got fucking poked knuckle deep in the eyeball. Why are you booing? What am I supposed to do about it? I didn't do the fucking poke. I can't see.
Tom, they should not be booing. I agree with you. You waited a long time for this moment. Talk to the disappointment of this being how it ends.
This is bullshit. The fight was just getting going.
Were you just calling him out as you felt like you wanted to get that shot, or were you calling him out because you were able to continue from the eye poke?
Yeah, it's like that. It's for the Hank to be a champion, and the Hank quick because the pocket the eye too, and the third too because the Hank is the training partner, and I do it when Hank like knock him out in the first round. Why is it happening that me and Tom Aspinall fight? Because he say Tom Aspinall, this is the one that does the best training partner. Hank can have it. What happened? Tom Aspinall fighting with Waldo Cortez.
Tom Aspinall has pushed through setbacks, injuries, and long layoffs to keep representing the UFC. After waiting more than a year to make his comeback, that return ended in controversy and silence from the promotion. No public backing, no apology, no real accountability. What made it worse was Dana White's post-fight remark suggesting Tom chose not to continue, a statement that sparked outrage among fans and fellow fighters who clearly saw how severe the injury was.
The best part about fouling, right, is that it works. So the best thing you can do is like keep your head in the game, and I'll do everything I can to manage it.
All that training for that? Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Trying to be okay, mate.
What the f is he doing?
The left one was really deep. The left one was really deep.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
got one twice before he got one for it. Yeah.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it. Yeah, it's horrendous for me to look at that.
Because it went a few minutes. It doesn't mean in any way, shape or form that Tom Aspinall was struggling. He fucking wasn't. Cyril Gane's a good technical fighter. He was making it more difficult to catch him. But it wasn't like he was dishing out loads of punishment just because Tom had a bloody nose from a punch. Fucking Floyd Mayweather had a black eye from fucking Deji. A little bit of damage when you're in there throwing big fucking fists at each other is going to happen sometime. It does not reflect the way the fight is actually going. Little bit of blood. As long as you can breathe out that nose, you are fine. And it's this context that in the MMA and fight world, people just fucking ignore for some reason.
I saw Tom Aspinall land some nasty stuff too. I saw Tom Aspinall throw a high kick. I've never seen him throw a high kick, and it's partly because he's never had to throw a high kick. There are layers to these guys' games that we have to find only when they're fighting someone that not only deserves to be in there with them, but can extend them to a point where they have to use all of their weapons.
I mean, look, DC knows MMA. I'm not going to say he's talking total shit there, but I think if Tom Aspinall is being experimental in there and showing us things that he's not showing us before, I don't think for 1 second it's because I'm going to struggle here. I need to throw a high kick. I've never done that before. I don't think that's in his mind at all. He's so comfortable in there. He is showing more of his skill set that he has said he's been working on in the last year.
Since the controversial no contest against Cyril Gane, fans have been left waiting for any kind of official word from the UFC, but all they've gotten is silence. No clear medical report, no formal update, not even a statement acknowledging the extent of Tom Aspinall's injury. The only real news came directly from Tom himself, who shared photos of his swollen eye and spoke about ongoing treatments following that painful incident. According to people close to his camp, frustration is running high. They say Tom feels overlooked and unsupported by the very organization he's represented with loyalty since the start of his career.
Not only for the family, but for the fans too.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Tom came out and said, no, I'm not going to rematch him. He's a cheater. Why would I rematch a guy that already cheated, that violated not one of my eyes, but both? I gave him his chance. He chose to cheat, and I'm going to move on. If Tom took that stance, which he's not going to do, I'm saying, but for fun, I think he'd have a lot of people that supported him. For some reason, Cyril has come out of this thing with his hands clean. He's the one that did the poking.
This notion of intentional versus unintentional is the stupidest shit in sports. Period. You don't hear it anywhere else. Yesterday, I'm watching the New York Knicks against the Miami Heat. Knicks are down like 8 or so. They have the ball. Josh Hart gets called for an offensive foul. Illegal screen. Do the referees converge and say, like, did he mean to do that or did he not mean to do that? No, a foul is a foul. Ball goes the other way. Let me ask you a question. Super Bowl, a couple years ago, all-time great game. Eagles, Chiefs, pass interference, end of the game. Do the refs converge and say, did he mean to do it? Did he mean to bump him or not? No, foul is a foul. Foul is a foul, which means a foul is a DQ. That should have been a DQ victory for Tom Aspinall. That should have been a DQ loss for Cyril Gane. And let me be very, very clear right here and now. I don't think Cyril did that on purpose. Why would he have done that on purpose? Why would he have tried to foul his opponent? But it doesn't matter. An illegal maneuver is an illegal maneuver. An illegal foul is an illegal foul, whether you meant to do it or not.
Oh, keeps eye poking, man. Once again, it's MMA. If somebody's coming at me and I go like this, it's my hands coming out. It's a natural reaction. That's one thing people don't understand. Like, it looks like the other eye got more penetration than the one he's closing right now. What the fuck? That sucks ass. He was fighting a wonderful fight. Right there, we can see that, like, that's how you can get Tom Aspinall troubles, is by always turning the angle on him, never giving the opportunity to run you over. Obviously, the accident foul was an accident, right? But the way he had his hands on Tom Aspinall's face is the correct technique to do. If you go back and watch John Jones, he's a great eye poker, but if you go back and watch the greats who do body kick, if you go back and watch my fights, when I throw body kicks or I throw leg kicks, my hands are here, they're open. So once again, you're never going to fix eye pokes in mixed martial arts.
Tom Aspinall didn't walk away by choice. He was forced to stop. This wasn't about toughness or will. It was about protecting his sight, his health, and the rest of his career. His father, Andy Aspinall, later expressed deep disappointment in how the UFC managed the aftermath. From the slow medical response to Dana White's public comments, and the lack of communication while Tom was in the hospital. The silence from the organization has left not only the family, but also fans feeling frustrated and disheartened.
I mean, you pretty much covered the whole Dana White saying he didn't want to continue.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so the rematch is very interesting.
It's crazy. It just adds more fuel to the fire of this fucking stupid conspiracy that Chael started, and now you have UFC brass co-signing that. It's so dumb, dude. He's your current heavyweight champ. Now the face of the UFC and one of the biggest voices in the UFC has somehow put the narrative that he's weak and that he quit. You're hurting your brand. The face of the division, the narrative now is that he's a quitter and he didn't want to fight. That's your champ. No matter DQ, no contest, that's your fucking heavyweight champ of the world. He's supposed to be the baddest man on the planet. Now the narrative, for people that don't know shit about MMA, is that he has quit in him. Why would you do that? You represent your fucking business. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And now some of the casuals are like, I'm not watching him ever fight again. He quits. That hurts your bottom line. And for what? Why not give the number one heavyweight in the world the benefit of the doubt that he couldn't fucking seek? They got poked in both fucking eyes and you just go, terrible fucking circumstances. We're going to rematch it as soon as Tom's ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it. You don't push this shitty narrative down the road and sabotage your heavyweight champ.
There's a lot of talk about, did Tom quit? Did Tom end it too early? Could he have cleared that eye? Was he unable to really see? Could he have gotten through it? This is all true. And we will only know if Tom comes out and tells us. We'll never know how bad or how severe. We'll never know that. That's only ever going to be known by Tom Aspinall. But what we can talk about is that how egregious that eye poke was. And Ciryl Gane did that. He ruined the fight by having that terrible eye poke, right? You just have to keep a closed fist. And we've seen it in so many other events. It's really starting to ruin mixed martial arts.
Do you really feel that Aspinall decided not to keep fighting on purpose because he thought that this fight wasn't going to go his way?
Over there, I know. I'm going to. I'm going to get, first and foremost, it was a foul, and Ciryl Gane's the one to blame for it. But from the optics and the way that it looked, his eye was closed when he got poked in it. He was saying he couldn't see, and he wasn't even trying to open his eye to see if he could see. Like, obviously, I have no idea. I'm not there, but you see the pictures afterwards, his eye looks fine. I've seen a whole finger go in someone's eye, and they keep fighting, right? So I don't know, but I feel like he might have taken the easier way out. It's a no contest. He got to come back. He gets paid $3 million.
Wait, he still gets paid as if they fought the full fight?
They fought.
There's something to show money and stuff. Yeah.
Now everyone's asking the same question. What happens next in the heavyweight division? Things are chaotic. Tom Aspinall still holds the interim title, yet there's no fight date, no update on his recovery, and John Jones is hinting at a matchup with Alex Pereira instead. The situation feels uncertain, and for many fans, even disrespectful. Aspinall's team has been vocal, calling for transparency and demanding a rematch with Ciryl Gane once Tom is cleared to return. They want fairness, and for fighters to be treated like people, not just paydays. Tom has always represented the sport with humility and professionalism. He's never stirred drama, never backed out without reason, but now, after all his loyalty, it seems the UFC has gone quiet when he needs them most. Fans, however, haven't forgotten. The MMA community continues to stand behind him, calling out how poorly the situation was handled. Whether Dana White responds or not, one thing is clear: Tom Aspinall's faith in the UFC has been shaken, and the heavyweight division is heading toward a storm of uncertainty and politics.